You may know about Ping Pong the animation from 2014. You may even know about Ping Pong the manga from the late 90s. But did you also know about Ping Pong the movie from 2002? Live action movie, not animated one. No? Well, it's about time you know about that. If you watched the anime or even read the manga, you know about the story, because the movie doesn't tell anything different. If you don't know about the manga or the anime, then here is a little summary, let's call it that. Now we have two main characters called Pico and Smile. Pico and Smile are probably the contrast of one another, while Pico is more upbeat and maybe a little bit arrogant at times and gives a shit about the sport, in this case ping pong. Smile basically doesn't give a shit about the sports, as he states. It's just a time waster, as he says, and he's more the introverted one, more the silent one. Now, they know each other since childhood. They are the members of a ping pong club since childhood, and know the movie is not mainly about the sports itself. So even if you don't like sports movies, this movie you should watch, because the main focus is Pico and Smile, not the sports. Ping pong is just a side effect. It's just there to be there. That's it. Now, in the present day, they enter a tournament. Pico loses very early on because he is overconfident and whatnot. Smile loses shortly after that. While Smile, seeing that he was better than Pico apparently, he gets a boost and he starts to train. Pico, on the other hand, he goes into the, let's call it depressive mode. I don't want to spoil it too much, so let's call it depressive mode. In the next tournament, both are in. But something happens shortly before that, especially on the part of Pico. Now, again, I don't want to spoil it too much, so therefore that's why I'm not mentioning it what happens to Pico. In the next tournament, actually the movie finishes there. In the tournament, the final, and you can probably guess who is in the final, and shortly after, a few seconds, you see what happened after the final. That's basically it. It sounds simple, but it's not. Now, again, the focus is not the sports. So basically, even if you don't like sports, anime, sports manga, sports movies, whatever, it's not about sports. You see, of course you see ping pong, you see the characters play ping pong, but in the end of the day, it's just a side effect. The main focus is Pico and Smile. And that's great. It's basically, let's call it, the movie has a lot of psychological stuff in there. For what it is. Not very deep, but not very light either. So it's basically mediocre when it comes to psychological stuff, and it's great. Even the anime had that, and the manga, yeah, I don't know, but I have to assume it has that as well. And it's great, they did a great job there. Now, how the movie represents the manga, I don't know, because I never read it. Now, in comparison to the anime, which came 12 years later after the movie, it was actually, yeah, the anime of course had more time. The movie was close to 2 hours, something like that. The anime of course had more time to explain certain things and whatnot, so the movie had to squeeze a little bit together, but I think they still did a pretty good job. Of course, some characters could have been fleshed out a little more, especially when it comes to the other team, the Kaio team. But overall they did a great job, and the side characters don't seem, yeah, they are the typical side characters, but they don't seem out of place, just there to be there. They just don't seem that way. They appear in the right moment and they disappear in the right moment, so the side characters are just yo, hi, I have a point here, and bye, that's it. So therefore it's great. The performances are actually great as well, especially when it comes to Smile. The actor was actually damn good as Smile. Now, I have to admit, the Smile from the anime was a bit, in my opinion, a bit more, yeah, he had his sad side, but as well the disinterested side at the same time. While this Smile had more of a sad side instead of a balance between sad and disinterested like in the anime. So it's basically more sad instead of, and then disinterested went down. But still, he did a great job. Pico, even in the anime, I found the guy to be sometimes annoying, and he is sometimes annoying in the movie as well, maybe even a little bit more annoying, but still, the actor did a great job as Pico. Now, when it comes to the rest of the cast, yeah, they did a great job, even when it comes to the trainer, even when it comes to the Kaio members and whatnot. Now, again, when it comes to the Kaio members, they could have fleshed them out a little bit more, but still, they did a great job when it comes to them. Overall, the visuals are actually great to look at. Of course, you see some CGI here and there, but it's not the kind of CGI that you notice from the first when you look at it. It's basically, yeah, the CGI is there, you know it's there, but it's basically on the ball itself. So the ball is basically so small that you don't notice the CGI. At the moment you think that's a real ball and that they are playing. Sometimes they are really playing, but other times they are not, because the ball has to move a certain way and has to do certain things, and that can only be done with CGI by then. And there was one scene where you notice the CGI, but that's just one single scene, so therefore, yeah, take it as it is. Now, overall, when it comes to the music, that was a bit unfitting in my opinion. I don't say that the music is bad, but the music is here somewhat of a mix of electronica and some other genres here and there, all mixed together in a blender, and there you have it. In my opinion, it didn't fit all that well, Ping Pong the movie. It was sometimes way too happy or some. It didn't fit all that well, and even the ending song, except the last song on the final, that was actually fitting. That was actually good, but the rest of it, But overall, I would say that was actually a good movie. Is it as good as the manga? I don't know, but is it as good as the anime? No, because the anime had what made the anime good was not only the story, but was also the animation. That weird looking cheap animation, but very charismatic and very enjoyable. That made the anime great. Now the movie, of course, doesn't have that. The actors are great, but the movie overall doesn't reach the level of the anime in my opinion. But it's still a good movie. I would recommend it. If you like the anime, if you like the manga, I would recommend the movie. Even if you don't like sports, I would still recommend the movie. Now, go watch it. You wasted a lot of time? Probably not, but I'm gonna still assume that you wasted a lot of time here watching this crappy video with my crappy face and listening to my crappy English, where you could also watch the movie. Now go watch the movie.